Okay, so this week I'm going to try and do the Daniel Cooper hairspray hack. And I have this little wooden turtle that I've had since I was a teenager. I've also got, it's sort of like re-mouldable clay, and I have some that I've already used, and I've got some fresh pieces. So I'm going to try and make a mould. I do have silicone, but just for speed, because I really want to do this now, I don't want to wait for my silicone to set. So I'm going to try and make a mould out of the clay. I already know that you can make moulds, but whether I can make one out of this, we'll see. And then I'm going to try the hairspray and some mica powders and see if I can get a sweet little turtle. So I'm going to just set up, get my heat gun ready to melt these, and I'll see if I can make my mould. Okay, I'm going to use my heat gun to try and remelt those and melt these ones and try and make one big blob, and hopefully that will be enough to make a mold for this turtle. See if I can squish that together a bit and make it flat, get rid of any bubbles that might be in it. Okay, that's getting nice and soft and malleable. One more blast, and then I'm going to give a attempt to put it around the turtle. Okay, so I'm just shaping it around. This does become quite flexible once it sets. I mean, it's not as soft as silicone, but it is flexible enough. And that looks pretty good. Hopefully there's no leaks at the front. A little tail there. All right, I'm going to let that cool down. And then I'm going to see if I can get the turtle out. And then we'll try and do the hairspray hack. Okay, it's cooled down quite a bit. This is what it looks like from underneath. And there are a couple of bubbles in there. And I'm hoping they are somewhere within the clay rather than actually up against the turtle, but we'll see what happens. Let's see if I can get him out now. Unpop his legs and then try and pull head out. Okay. Yep, those bubbles are inside the clay. So that is a nice smooth surface. So that should be good for our next step. I've got this brown mica powder. I'm going to try and put that in the head. I've just got a paintbrush. Not going to be the easiest area to try and colour in. It looks like the mica powder is sticking to it. Some in the little fins as well. I'm just going to get a cotton bud and see if I can clean up the overspill, any areas that I did not want to get any of the mica on. Okay, so now what I want to do is spray my hairspray. And I don't want to spray it in a fine mist like you normally would. You want it to try and come out blobby, so see if I can do that. Okay, well I definitely have some in there. Let's have a look and see if we can see it. Maybe just about. Anyway, I'm going to set this aside and let it completely dry. I don't know how long that's going to take. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add some more mica, and then I can pour my resin. Okay, it's dry now, and I'm going to use this mica powder. It's artisan mica powder in Seafoam Green. And I'm just got my paintbrush again. Open the lid. So I'm just painting over the bottom, and anywhere there are blobs of hairspray, the mica will not stick. So hopefully you should end up with a speckled look that shows the colour that you're going to put underneath. I'm going to mix some gold into my resin underneath. So I'm hoping that you'll get sort of a greeny blue colour of the shell and little gold specks. All right, I've speeded this up a little bit. I've mixed up some craft resin and I'm adding some gold mica powder to it. Just a couple of scoops. And then I'm going to make sure that that's thoroughly mixed in and that there's no loose powder in there, no lumps. Just wipe off my stick, and then I'm going to pour it into the mould, but I'm going to tilt it so that I can pour and fill the head first. Hopefully this will prevent any bubbles from forming in there. And I'm being careful not to overfill it because I'm not convinced that the mould is flat. I don't know that. So I'm just going to use a stick now to kind of move any bubbles out of the way and make sure that the resin gets into all the little nooks and crannies. And then I'm going to leave that to set. All right, it's the next morning now, and this should be set. Well, it is set. So I don't hold out much hope because it didn't really look like the blue mica for the shell had bonded to this clay. But we'll see. So just try and wriggle the head out. It's still a little bit bendy. Oop. Yeah, it really didn't bond very well, that blue. I can see some of the speckling. I don't know if you can see the speckling. Wasn't probably the best colour to choose, the gold behind it, but I did want gold spots to come through. So this needs rescuing. The hack works. It does work on here. It did bond to the to the mould, and I have got the speckling. I mean, you can particularly see there a spot there. But I think the mica that I used wasn't the best, and maybe it just doesn't bond very well to this mould. So how do I rescue this? Let me think on that, and I'll see what I can do. Okay, so I had a think, and I've got some of these flat-backed crystals in a blue colour, just a clear colour, and kind of citrine colour. So I think I'm going to put them all over the shell. I'll leave the head, the tail, and the flippers as is, and see if I can rescue this by bedazzling it a little bit. All right, so I don't have one of those pickup tools for beading. I just have a barbecue skewer, and I've put some of that sticky tack that you use to put pictures on the wall just on the end. I'm hoping that'll be enough. These blue beads look like they are, well, there are some that are a little smaller, but they're mostly quite large. These are multiple sizes, as are the citrine. So I'm going to start with some of the bigger ones first. I'm just going to use this B7000 glue. So I'm just going to put a small amount on top. And I'm going to start with some of the blue beads. Not beads, what are they? Gems. So I'm just going to keep going, and I will do the rest off camera, and then I will show you what it looks like when I've finished. Okay, so I've placed a charm hook on him. I've put a sort of an eye hook just into the back of the head there, under the chin, and then I put a bag charm hook on the front. Oops. And I think the foiling on the back of the gems reacted with the glue, and it's kind of got all wrinkled, but I actually really like it. It almost like makes them look like sort of glittered gems. So, oops, I nearly dropped him. But yeah, I think I did manage to rescue him.